My lips cracked and covered in sand. I strode valiantly toward my destiny and vowed to return victorious. Spelunky. The day was November 3rd, 2015. When an adventurer by the name of Mr. Jones descended into the darkness that was a great hole in the middle of the desert. Wrapped tightly in winter garb, he had heard such fabric might protect him from the heat of the sun. But as he felt a cold draft beneath him, while descending deeper into the earth, a decision that he had once thought ill-advised turned out to be the smartest thing he had ever done. He hadn't gone to the desert seeking fortune. He had gone instead seeking spiritual enlightenment. But fate had other things in mind. It was fate that brought him into an abandoned dig, a mine, with pre-cut jewels ready to be plucked like ripened fruit from the tree. In only minutes, he had collected $9,800 worth of jewels. And he saw no end to the fortune. No end to the potential treasures that awaited him. But it wasn't all sunshines and roses, or not all cave updrafts and jewels, as the case might be. There were poison spiders, poison-spitting snakes, dogs desperate to be rescued, living skeletons rising from the ground and attacking our hero. Jones was petrified, but still marched bravely onward. The prospect of treasure can make a man do that. The prospect of treasure, indeed, can make a man do crazy things. Jones struggled to find a way back up to the altar. And as he spotted an evil spirit emerge from the wall, he thought better of it, and instead went deeper into the depths of the mine in the middle of that hot, dry desert. But the deeper he went, the more grateful he was for his heavy overcoat. More grateful he was of the wool lining the hood he had slung over his head. A deftly placed bomb was enough to rip through a spider 3 times the size of Jones. And in exchange for this piece of trickery, he found a jar of glue that he eagerly took with him. As his father had said, you never know when a jar of glue will come in handy. He picked up a dog, readying himself for a harrowing rescue. Instead, he found himself using the dog as a weapon, flinging it in the direction of a terrible spider. Having come upon an altar to an 8-limbed goddess, he left the dog there, seemingly for a moment. But soon the dog exploded on the altar, bathing Jones with blood. He soon realized that he had inadvertently sacrificed the dog he had meant to rescue. In gratitude, the 8-limbed goddess gave him a pair of springed boots. Perhaps Jones had not made such a terrible mistake after all. Wise now to the power of a sacrificial dog, our hero once again journeyed upward towards another altar, now in an underground jungle, sacrificed a second dog, and received in return a chalice, a skull-shaped chalice. In this chalice, a voice informed him he could drink the blood of his enemies. In doing so, would restore his own life, if ever he found himself in injury. Sickened almost by this utilitarian course, Jones still soldiered on. The artifact he carried in his pocket began to make a great noise, and lo and behold, it revealed a secret exit. What further treasures awaited him? He was out of bombs. It had only one rope in his possession. Fortunately, the place that lay ahead was a black market. Perhaps here he could buy more bombs, more ropes. At least to start with, more bombs. Jones knew that there was more here than he could possibly afford. And so he opted to attempt a robbery, chucking a bomb towards the wall. One of the very bombs he had purchased from the unwitting shopkeepers. They labeled him a terrorist. He only had one bomb left in his possession. Now he was armed with more bombs. And not only that, but a jetpack. He was feeling quite powerful indeed. But as he had once read in a comic book, with great power comes great responsibility. So he ventured to kill yet more shopkeepers, stealing their gold from them. He ventured further into the ground, armed with a rifle, a jetpack, and $53,325 richer. "You'll pay for your crimes," he heard a voice call out. Surely it was one of the shopkeeper's brothers. Word seemed to have spread fast of his criminality. Jones was unperturbed. He had gone too far to turn back now. And after swigging the blood of his enemies from his chalice, he ventured only further. He became only more daring. Jones continued to crush his enemies beneath his boot and fire bullets through their heads. He had not grown so heartless as to ignore a suffering dog, although first he drew blood from it so that he could replenish his strength. Further down now, it grew even colder. He became ever more grateful for the wool that lined his hood, for the boots he had covering his feet. Deeper now in the ground, he found not only abominable snowmen, but extraterrestrial spacecraft and ever more valuable bars of gold, ever more valuable jewels. He tore through the threats ahead with relative ease and journeyed further down. Snow mysteriously falling on his head like raindrops. Underground precipitation. Jones was not a scientist, but it sure seemed strange. The brothers of the shopkeepers were so angry now that they had lost reason. Whenever he encountered one near an exit, he was so enraged by Jones. He would be so enraged by Jones that he would fly off a ledge to his death before having even the chance to touch him in anger. Further and further down now. "You'll pay for your crimes," he heard a voice say. But the terribleness of Jones' crimes were surely outweighed by the vastness of his wealth. He only became richer, richer still. There was a certain freedom in his chosen life. Having already committed the most heinous crime at all, Jones felt free, free to kill again and again and again, and to become ever richer in the process. Further now into the ground, having entered some kind of extraterrestrial ship. He ventured further, having sustained serious injuries. Perhaps he could have collected more riches in that place, but he did not want to risk it for another second. Such bravery he did not possess, despite all he had gone through. Without a gun now, he journeyed further and further down. But what was this? Some kind of temple. Perhaps a place of worship for the eight-limbed goddess he so revered. He ventured further, not knowing where the end was, not knowing how rich he might become. You'll pay for your crimes. He heard a voice cry out yet again. He felt himself gasp his last breath, but what was this? He rose anew. A gold cross he had collected brought him shockingly back to life. Alas, his resurrection was short-lived. He was crushed, ground into a fine place by some mysterious block. He had gained incredible riches. $190,000. More money than he had ever imagined he might acquire. But it was all for naught. His corpse lays now, deep in the ground, somewhere, past an ice cave, past a mothership, in some kind of sacred yet deadly temple. There you will find Jones, just another victim of the Spelunky.